Hi, everyone. It's Norm Farrar, a.k.a. The Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm.
Okay, so for all our American friends, happy Memorial Day. Today we've got a really special episode. I have a friend of mine who I've met for many years now. Just an incredible, actually nice guy and brain. I can't believe the knowledge that this guy has. He's a 7-8 figure seller. He's got his own. He's a service provider with Sellerize. You may have heard the app. And he's also got an event coming up in Orlando called Rise. And that's on June 11th and 12th. So anyways, I know I'm kind of fumbling through this. I'm a little bit late as usual. I'm going to blame it on Kelsey. But anyway, I'd like to introduce Dima Kubrak. And also, where are you, Kelsey?
Okay, yes. So
man, that was a
welcome,
tough one to get through.
Yeah, but you did it. You made it through.
I did it, but you're gonna have to do a lot of editing for the the non-live version.
Yeah, we can do that. We got you covered. And
Okay.
welcome Manny and Daniel. Of course, everyone, if you're watching right now, if you could smash those like buttons.
Kelsey, I have to interrupt you like you normally do to me.
Okay, go ahead.
But this is a first. This is a first today. Well, this is there's a couple of firsts today. Happy
Let's jump
birthday.
into it.
Happy birthday. This is our 1-year anniversary from a podcast as we started. Please,
That's right.
guys, do not watch the first podcast. They're horrible. But we improved.
If you're
over
looking for
time.
some entertainment,
It was.
I think it's only like 20 minutes.
I think it's like it's like wine. It improves over time, I hope. But also today we have our first sponsor. So this is awesome. We've been talking to a few people, and anyway, Chris over at Global Wired Advisors, he became our first sponsor. And I guess I've got to do this now. I'm going to do this all the time. We have vetted Chris's company, Global Wired Advisors, and it's a great company. It's a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. So make sure you check out globalwiredadvisors.com if you want some further information. So that is a first. We have a sponsor. So now Kelsey can actually have a cup of coffee and a bologna sandwich. We haven't got to the steak yet, but hopefully a little bit later on you can start eating some real meat.
Yes, that's
or
right.
vegetables.
Fingers
You're a
crossed.
vegetarian or something like that.
Anyways, welcome Daniel, Rad, and Rosalind. It's good to see everyone. And yeah, let us know what you're doing for Memorial Day if you're from the States. And yeah, we can kind of just jump into it. Of course, our Patreon is starting up tomorrow. So that's going to be like our monthly subscription service for any bonus content like AMAs, prizes, discounts, all that good stuff is over at the Patreon. And I'll put the link over there. So yes, it's our 1-year anniversary for the Lunch with Norm podcast. So thank you everyone who's tuned in over the years. And I think we can jump into it now.
It's been a crazy year, hasn't it?
It really has.
We've got to meet so many really cool people. And, hopefully we dropped a few ninja tips. I didn't say nugget. I did now. But, and hopefully we can continue to do this with our newsletter, with our community that we've built up. And we've got a couple other surprises that we're trying to do. We're trying to improve and build content all the time. If you have suggestions, just let us know. All right. So is it that time?
It's that time.
All right. So get the hell off the move. Okay, there you go. All right. So if you have any comments, questions, just put them into the comment section. Now sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Where are you, Dima?
What's up, guys?
Hey, how are you?
Nice to see you.
One of these days, we will be able to meet each other again.
Yeah. And like nowadays, it's so easy on Memorial Day to trade fun, like for the work time. So we're gonna spend together, guys, about like 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour, and just like have fun, try to raise our knowledge about Amazon, and just continue making more money. So tomorrow you will come back more smarter, and you will crush it.
There we go. You know, I've always been interested in you. I remember in Israel, we sat down and you told me your story, which was just incredible. I'm not going to get into all of that, but for people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, guys, I came back. I came back. I come from the country that called Ukraine. So I used to live in Crimea. It's on the Black Sea. So I was always having entrepreneurial mindset in my heart, and I always having like lots of energy. And if I would summarize everything that I have about myself, I just pure of positivity and continuous focus. So I love to connect with people. I love to help people a lot. I love to look for different strategies to grow business. I always try to think outside of the box. So that's always helped me to kind of find these cool ideas, and that's what makes me and other guys who are around me to be a bit ahead of competition.
Yeah, I remember. Well, first of all, one of the pictures that I love, if anybody's gone to an event where they've seen you, there's a picture of you and your wife as rickshaw. Like that was your first business in America, wasn't it?
Business. Yeah, it was one of my first jobs. Yeah, I was working as a pedicab driver, which was the most funniest job ever. You know, like I was, you pedal every single day for like 10 hours. And, you know, I used to have the most beautiful ass in the world, you know, because you have to pedal a lot, you know, you have to pedal a lot. And you know how I was working with my wife, because she's pretty, you know, like every time she go by the street and riding a bike, you know, guys like waving the hands and jump on the bike. And she didn't have that much power, you know, to carry them through the entire street. So she calls me, and I kind of stop her bike and saying, guys, now jump on my bike. And she's like, they're like, hey, this Ukrainian guy with the weird accent, you know, it's probably better to either switch the bike, you know, or run away. So my accent was just a killer. But people love it. So they used to give me a lot of tips, you know. If not, I would just kick them out of the bike. So just a joke.
So there's another in the Amazon world. There's another really interesting photo of you, and I don't know if this was AMS 1 or ASM 2 or 3, but it's you sitting there wanting to learn about Amazon, and you're asking a question at one of the events. Which one was that? You're in the red polo shirt.
I went to my first ASM event, and believe me or not, I couldn't understand about 60% of English what people were saying. But I was just so inspired to connect to others and going to the events. And imagine, already by that time, I already was making about $500,000 a month with Amazon. Like a year, couple months before this event, I already made like $60,000 pure profit, which means I was just crazy, and I was just continue working. And in my first year of doing e-commerce, I hired about 40 people, which is like, can tell that I'm very lazy person. So I love to delegate a lot of work to others. And it's a good and a bad side as well. You know? So I can explain in details like where you guys will end up, you know, if you're growing too fast.
But that's really important. So, and I want everybody to know that today is going to be a general conversation about Amazon. When we were talking before the podcast, it was, we could talk about this or we could talk about that. It's like our podcast we had last week with Kevin. It just, can go down so many different rabbit holes. I mean, Dima is one of these people that just loves to share. So you just touched on something. You became, you became a very a very successful Amazon entrepreneur without even knowing the system. But you grew, and you're still growing, and now you're into as a service provider and all this other stuff, but you're still selling on Amazon. Let's talk about delegation. So how important was it for you to delegate the work? I know you just said that you did it, but if people are listening here, and they might not have $500,000 a month, they might have $10,000. When do you think would be the right time, and how would you implement that?
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good question. And like on majority of the podcasts and majority of the events I've been, people usually ask like more complex questions like about techniques and strategies, but they don't actually realize that on first it comes your like mindset and delegation and your team structure. Because without that, like you guys would be like, you would just hitting a wall all the time, a ceiling, like because it would be so complex to grow. So what I'm trying to say, actually, Amazon business is not that complex. It's actually a simple business. If you will think about like standpoint of like a business, like people building, because I have other business ventures, and believe me or not, you have to work 10 times more there to get a first dollar. On Amazon, it's way simpler. And nowadays, it's even simpler because now we have technologies and ideas and tools and all kind of stuff. I remember like back in the days, I went to one of my first events where I paid, I think, like $12,000 to attend the event. And the major topic was there, how to ship products from China to FBA. And who was sharing this idea and who was teaching us? Sean.
Oh,
yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
And everybody was asking him, is it really possible to ship products from China straight to Amazon warehouse? And everybody was like, blow your mind, because he was saving so much money. But I would also agree that Amazon business can be a very stressful business. You guys will run through so many up and downs. Because I've been there, like I'm in the business for 8 years in e-commerce. And it's not like a easy ride sometimes. Sometimes you feel like, hey, you want to give up on everything. So for me, one of the biggest key point was when I start my business, it's to make sure I'm reducing this psychological pressure, like this pressure from stress on a daily basis. Because like business also correlates with the risk. So imagine like when you're having problems in your business, you want to make sure that you offset things that are not related to the growth. For instance, it's let's say dealing with the customers or dealing with the Amazon support. This is what was my first delegation that I made. I delegate customer support, like when people sending you messages and negative reviews. And also I delegated the Amazon support. I think I didn't spoke with the Amazon support for more than 5 years. So I only navigate my team. And me personally, I'm trying to avoid at any cost conversations where you have to be involved emotionally. So because it will disbalance you. Because like when you have a perfectly structured system and employees who you can delegate the task, they're not emotionally involved and they continue going. While you can lose the sleep while you're dealing with some case, let's say Amazon sends you warning about expired products, or they don't like the certificates, they don't like a new policy for batteries or toy certificates or supplements. Like there's so many groups right now that are trying to get together just to understand what's going on in Amazon brains while they bring in new policies to the market. But I don't want you also guys to be scared from this, because it's just a small price what you're paying for such a huge success you can gain. Nowadays, as you can see, if you do research, if you're not aware of this, but nowadays, huge companies like Thrasio, other guys, like that, raising billions of dollars to buy your companies. And the reason why, because our businesses are profitable. They really can bring so much value into their systems and also in your life. I know so many people who become successful and financially free from building Amazon, and it comes mostly with delegation. So you have to build slowly the structures. And one of the good books I would recommend to read is called Deep Work. In this book, the guy saying that don't focus on people, mostly focus on systems. So build system with people. I know like people is really important in your team. Like there's another cool book. It's called Who. It's about how to bring A players into your team.
Who? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Who. WHO.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
You know what? No, I think it's in my other office. Yeah. It's not here. So the book Who is like it's about how to build this A players, how to attract them, how to systemize them, how to evaluate them, how to go through entire process of bringing these people into your team. And then once you get this, then you have to start to build a system. And the system you can build based on a book. It's called Traction. It's Traction EOS. I'm not sure if you heard about Johnny Wickman. That's that. Okay, these 3 books, the deep work, it's mostly for motivation and understanding. Okay, I have to do something better nowadays. The Who is how to evaluate A players, and Traction, it's how to involve these in players into your system. And then, because look, I have so many projects going. Like I have a huge Amazon business. Like several brands, and it's consistently growing. We're launching a lot of products. I have Sellerize project, which is like a software company that we built for the last 4 years for the Amazon sellers. There's about like 15 different tools that help on the different angles. We have a Walmart tool, which is right now for everybody is absolutely free, that can calculate you every dollar you pay or earn in the Walmart. We also have a 3PL services. It's called a sub warehouse. We help people with their inventory and logistics problems to solve them. We also have retail business that I don't want to share right now about this, but it's one of my next ventures. Like we just started. We have 6 stores right now, and we're rapidly growing. So I hope this business one day will become a $1 billion company. And everything comes like that with the delegation, proper delegation, and people on places. So that's kind of my point of view.
Yeah. So you started out with you started to work with your strengths, not your weaknesses. You started to, if there was problems or stuff that was had bad emotions attached to it, you would start delegating that. And I'm kind of curious, what country did you try to source from for your VAs?
Majority of my VAs, they come from Ukraine and Russia. I used to work a lot with the Philippines. Mm-hmm. And I was using this website. It's called onlinejobs.ph.
Yep.
Yeah. There's another website. I can, later I can send to the attendees. It's from the website from South America. It's like exactly like onlinejobs.ph, but it's only for the South America people. So, and the good part about this, the country, because they're in the same time zone.
Right.
Even that you source from, let's say, employees from China, like it's good to have, let's say, employees in China who do sourcing for you and inspections. That's one of the best ideas. But like they are there, on a spot working, so they're gonna help to improve your research and development department. But if you want to have like designers, I would suggest you to have like Ukrainian or maybe Western European people. They do a good job with the designs. If you want to do customer support and project management, Philippines is good. Mm-hmm. But for the Filipinian guys, there's one trick you have to guys understand. That every Filipinian employee has a mom or grandma dying 3 times per week. So
Kelsey will attest to this. I have right now a lady that I mentioned that her mother died 3 times. She actually said this 3 times. And, one of the things that I say is that you have to build loyalty. If you're not paying enough, you're going to hear that because they're going and taking on other projects. So, but that is something that I've seen, I've experienced.
I remember Steve Simonson. So we went to some event and he was saying how they decided to open one of the best offices in Philippines. So they moved there.
Yep.
They moved there, they formed the office. They come, they say, hey, we're gonna change the market, like for what is going on here. We want to raise the salaries. We want to pay well. We want to be the best company that want to attract the best talented people in the country. So he opened the office. He hired the people. He made everything for them. Great salaries, like resting rooms. Like they want to sleep. Like while at daytime they want to take a nap. So let's say in Ukraine, we don't take a nap while we're working. So I'm just saying, like every culture is different. You have to learn the culture. And Steve said that the interesting part happened next month. They made so much money and they didn't show up the second month because they don't need money. They are not. They was not driven too much for the money. I know there's a lot of people you can find good people in Philippines. I'm just saying, like, make sure, guys, you can adjust to the culture and you learn before you go onto the market. You cannot treat people the same way as you, let's say, treat in the same country you came from. So they could be different. So I suggest you to learn before you jump on it. So,
do you have any recommendations for Ukraine VAs? I know that, like, there's online jobs and there's Upwork and there's, the one that you were, I'm really curious on the one that you're talking about in South America, but is there an online job recruiting site in the Ukraine that you're using or that you can pass?
Yeah, there's two. One is called rabota.ua, RABO. Yeah, I can do like a, can I just do like a chat? Yeah, I see the chat.
Yeah, sure.
I can do private chat, I think, no?
Yeah, either or.
Rabota.ua. I know if anyone, because rabota, it means work on Ukrainian.
Okay.
And Russian, yeah. And then the second one, it's called hh.ru, headhunter. It's called hh.ru. But my biggest suggestion would be for you guys, if you want to find a good employees in Russia and Ukraine, just find recruiter, like a hiring agency or just individual who gonna help you with that, because they more adjusted. They have like a pool of people. The structure a bit different. Like, it's getting better right now because more people getting online. But working with someone who will be there on the spot, hiring people, interviewing them, bringing them before your final interview or the first interview, it's always the best to have someone who help you, and they're gonna evaluate them, so that will help you more.
Okay, fantastic. And just a reminder, if you can send Kelsey over that South American recruiter once we're done, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I will do it.
Okay.
I don't remember the name, but we just spoke about this website a couple days ago on my meetup. We do local meetups here in Florida, like almost every week. So we just like locally, a couple days ago, Florida removed masks. So right now, like, we don't have masks here anymore. It's optional. If you want, you can wear it. So that's one of the good parts as well. So,
well, with our government, I'm surprised that they're not forcing me to wear a mask for this podcast. It's crazy up here. Okay, so
look. Yeah. Beside of this, guys, since we're already talking about delegation, team structure, and you will need, beside of people, you will need tools to work with them. And the tools that we use in the company, one of them, it's called ClickUp. It's a project management tool. I don't know if you work with something like Asana or Trello. So ClickUp is kind of improved version of that, and it's a bit cheaper. So the moment you're gonna check this out, you're like, wow, that's amazing. And the second tool that is very important for us as well, it's called Time Doctor. We use this to monitor people time. Basically, when we sign people with the Time Doctor, it's not to monitor what they're doing. It's actually to give them ability to be aware at what process they're working right now. Because Time Doctor works this way. You set up, let's say, I don't know, like customer support, or like sending emails. You set up, you click click on the time, and time start running. The moment you stop the task, you have to turn it off. And then the next task, you also like, okay, now I'm working with the design. Now I'm working with the keyword research. Now I'm working with the PPC adjustment. So people get aware, like, so they know, okay, this is my day structure. And then you can withdraw this list of all tasks that people was doing and just work with this. I see, okay, how much time this person spent on label creation. Let's say, like, I have one of my employees, she was working 6 hours per day, improving some working on some Excel sheets. And then I check this and we work with this, we adjust it, and now she spent 40 minutes per day. Beside of that, she was spending before 6 hours per day. So not every system are perfect. But sometimes you need to dive in and check, okay, what's your people doing. But if you don't have a time doctor, how are you going to check this? You cannot sit on front of the computer with them all the time and waste your time.
Right. Well, one of the things that we've done, and we do it right up front, we mention this to anybody that we work with, is that we are going to just come in and do a time management. So a lot of the times, if you don't tell people about this, they get offended, and they can they're so offended that they could leave the company. So if you come in and let's say you're working with a VA, and yep, they're using Time Doctor, but you want to see, okay, I'm looked at Time Doctor. I've noticed that something is taking 2 hours, which should take 15 minutes. I want to go through and just every 15 minutes, I want you to stop and put what you're doing. Stop, put what you're doing. And then you can analyze what people are doing. And it's just a time management study. And then you can go back and improve these. I love doing these. If Shane's listening right now, he knows we do this with all of our VA's employees, because you can learn so much from them, even if they're using a Time Doctor or a screen capture. But I've also seen employees leave because they're just trying to track me. They're trying to micromanage me. It's not like you're doing it all the time. You're doing it once every quarter or something like that. But before we get started, I forgot to mention at the very beginning. So we have every Monday right now, Marsha Reese, who's a listener of ours, also a $1 billion seller, Dima. She sold over $1 billion in sales. But anyways, she has a company called Stay Well Copper. It's an antiviral, antibacterial product that you can put on your phone or wear around your neck. And she's donating one of those as a giveaway every Monday. So, so thank you so much, Marsha. That's fantastic. And so if you want one of those, Kelsey, what do we type in there?
Hashtag I want to stay well.
Okay, so I want to stay well. Okay, very good.
And this is for US and Canada only as well.
Sorry, guys, but only U.S., Canada. I keep forgetting that, and then we keep getting people from around the world winning. But anyways, the other thing, Shane Oglow, he's been a guest a few times. He's my partner over in PR Reach. If you have to put in hashtag, I love Kelsey. That's me as his papa. But Wheel of Kelsey, then you'll be entered in for a 30-minute to 60-minute consultation, and you'll get a free press release. So that's probably a $300-400 value. So if you're interested in that, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. All right, I forgot to mention that as we got going, Dima, but that's me. I'm an old guy. Now, anything else that you'd like to talk about around your team and how you manage your team? You talked about two, ClickUp and the Time Doctor. Are there any other tools that you're working with?
Yeah, we also use Zendesk. I know it's just a tool to connect other emails, and for the customer support, because it can be integrated with the Amazon system, and you can directly respond from there. So which is a great option.
Okay.
That's basically, everything else is just weekly meetings, reports, KPIs that you have to check all the time, make sure people following them, make sure they understand exactly where they're going. So that's a big part.
Yeah, it's so important, and keeping organized. Now, what about your planning? So you are an incredibly busy guy, okay? But I also know that I see a lot of pictures with you and your kids and your wife, doing real things. And I just know how many tasks that you have to get done on a regular day. How do you manage that? How do you plan your life?
That's actually very simple. I start at 9 and finish at 3, and that's basically it. And I have to fit everything in these hours, and everything that outside of that is my kind of personal time with kids, with my wife, with the friends. On weekends, I try to stay away from work. I just try to connect with new people, or just go to some birthday parties. When you have kids, you have so many birthday parties you have to attend. So it's one every week, twice per week.
Yeah, but I'm just going to go back to that, because you're opening. I can see if you have an Amazon store, all right, but but you've got multiple brands. You've got multiple things going on as a service provider. You've got this event coming up. You've got all this stuff plus your life. Do you do any planning? Like if you're just going 9 to 3, how do you stick to 9 to 3 if you're growing and getting bigger and getting bigger? How do you do it?
You have to become a master at delegation.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. No. Listen, it's so simple. People sometimes they think, hey, they have to do everything themselves, but you actually don't. Like if you find some task that you continue repeating, and then you just find the smart people who wants to work. Look, here's the thing. Some people, they're afraid if someone will join your company and then they will leave your company and they will open their own business. And that's perfect. I always say, majority of the people, they come to me, they say, hey, Dima, I want to build business like you. Can I learn that? And I say like, no problem. But what you good at? Like what value you can bring to my company? He said, okay, I'm good at PPC or I'm good at something. I say, okay, no problem. Just you can work. So they start working and then they see the complexity of the business. And then they realize, hey, sometimes it's better to become a professional in a well-structured company and grow with the company than just go by yourself and take all this weight of risk and other parts. Because look, not every business is successful, but there's no doubt if you will continue going, you will become successful.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah. Action, take action.
Execution, yeah. Execution is the biggest part, because I remember my first years when I was just going to the events. I catch myself after like 2 years. I was spending about like 200,000 per year just on events, paid tickets, events. I was paying everywhere. I was not going. On the third and fourth year, I start to speak at the events, so it becomes a bit cheaper. You still attend the events. You teach people the things,
Yeah.
And yeah. But you have to acquire some knowledge first. You have to experiment. You have to gain some not theoretical but practical knowledge that really works. Because sometimes I go into the events and I hear the speaker, and I understand right away this person never tested this strategy. Or it's a beta. It's a beta run. He tried, it works somewhere, but on a scale it will fail because. Not everything works on a scale. Like you can test some like cool ideas and techniques, but the moment you try to implement on all kind of products or all strategies, not every strategy works for every single product.
Right.
So that's why when someone comes to you and say, hey, could you help me with my business? You say like, what niche, what product, what team structure you have, what knowledge you have. That's so important. So to keep continue going. But
go ahead.
What I want to discuss today, I want to discuss upcoming Q4. I know maybe it's for some people it's too early, but guys, Q4 is right there, it's right around the clock. So you would be really like surprised how fast Q4 will come, and I don't want this to hit you with a brick from the back. So nowadays it's so important to get. I know a lot of people thinking about Prime, but Prime is already gone, So Prime is there. If you was not preparing for the Prime, there's so little you can do right now. Like maybe just prepare some promotional materials. Maybe you can bring some like cool creative on the Facebook or Instagram where you like building your audience and you driving traffic, But for Q4, guys, you have to be ready with the inventory and all kind of stuff. And Amazon nowadays, they're getting a bit weird. I would say, with all these restrictions and system they put in on inventory limits. So there's a few things that everybody need to consider before they enter in this wild west right now. So like from my experience, from my standpoint, because nowadays how much containers growing in the cost? For like we used to pay $3,000, $3,500 for the container to bring to United States, correct? So nowadays it's like $13,000, $15,000.
Mm-hmm.
And my latest price I paid for mats and boat for the one container was $24,000, 24.6.
What?
Could you imagine $24,000 paying for container? It almost like that's insane. It's crazy numbers. And the most difficult part about all of this, it's think about how many containers will drive right now to Los Angeles and they're gonna congest the system there, like so driving containers there would be complex. I suggest you guys to look not only to Los Angeles. I would say like, okay, do whatever you do, but make the plan B, make sure you have a plan B on place, because like in let's say October, you will see how difficult it would be to unload containers from that part, unless they do some magic, which is like almost impossible to prepare within the next 3-4 months. So exploring places like New York, Texas, Miami for the ports delivery, it may take longer than Los Angeles, but it's not only about how fast a ship going from China to Los Angeles. It's about how fast it can be unloaded. It's about how fast container can be picked up. It's about how fast your warehouse can organize everything for you and ship to Amazon. And like in Q4, the time for acceptance of your inventory and FBA warehouse could take like twice longer. If nowadays it's about like 10 days, like rarely you can see 5 days, but let's say 10 days on average, on Q4, it could be 20 days, it could be 25 days. So even if you bring stock in beginning of November, you can get this only, let's say, in December, while like half of the season already gone. So make sure you getting ready for this. And the second biggest part as well, it's make sure you have a lot of enough inventory in 3PL warehouses, because this is what will help you to send inventory to Amazon with the small batches on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Because as you can see right now, Amazon getting stronger with their limitations. So the only way to send by small batches, it's remove inventory that's not sellable. It do this like an all preparation. I know it seems, look, when things was good and relaxing and comfortable, and now you feel like, hey, I need to reorganize all of this, I need to become smarter and better and more efficient. And also it's gonna cost me more money. Nobody wants to do it. But look, guys, the earlier you will take the step and action, the faster you will be ahead of the competition who doing barbecue right now on the Memorial Weekend. So those who working, like right now, Norm sitting on front of the computer, me sitting, teaching you guys, explaining you like, guys, take the steps, don't relax. Tomorrow you're gonna start your workday at 9 a.m. Make sure you understand how to grow your business. Like, I like this book, it's called Execution. This guy, he built this company. Anyway, in this book, he's saying majority of the entrepreneurs and business owners, they have no idea exactly what makes money, like what makes profits to them, They start to optimize, they buy a faster computer, better camera, they do this and that. But in Amazon business, you have to launch good products, you have to launch enough of good products. You have to research them first, you have to launch them. You have to rank keywords, optimize PPC and your conversion. And if you do this, you already did the majority of the part. And then if you add branding and read the book, it's called Brand Story, Building a Brand Story, then guys, you become professionals. And now you're playing with the serious guys, because majority of the people, they throw these things into the Amazon warehouse, they hope it's gonna sell, they put some images. We help people to liquidate their stock sometimes on Amazon. And sometimes people come to me, they show me their listing, and I look at the listing and I say, how you come up with this image, This image will not convert ever. Just for instance, just go to Amazon, type your main keywords, the most relevant keyword, look at the competition, do the screenshot, and with the Photoshop, put your image there, show it to someone, and check if someone will pick your image throughout all of these images, like say 15 images, because this is the only way people are gonna click on you. And the best part to test, we use, it's called Pickful.
Yep.
Pickful. I don't know if you did podcast with them or not.
Yeah, they've been on. Yep.
Yeah. These guys are absolutely fantastic. They have a pool of Amazon Prime users, so you can run tests. They can click on what images they like, more colors. You can do so many split tests. I think it's about $200 per split test, we spend a lot of money for the split test because we want to make sure our photos and images the most attractive. So
Dima, okay, so there's a lot of newer sellers that'll be listening, and they're going to go like $200. That's expensive. It is. There is a right place and a wrong place to spend money. And doing a split test or focus test, when we surround the image, like you were just talking about it, we call that the Brady Bunch strategy. So, you put all your competition there, and you've got to be at least equal to or better than your competitors, or you've got a failed image. And spending $200.
You know what I can say? I don't want anyone to look. I'm very energized and I'm very positive. And every time I speak at the events or I speak to people, they get energized and they want to build a business. They want to grow. But guys, with every growth comes the price. Mm-hmm. You will experience stress and risk and everything that comes with this. But at the same time, you will experience a lot of joy and growth, like professional, personal growth. People around you will see like you growing, like financially and on and on and on, just continue going. And look, I have my friend, his name is Dennis. I remember we start our first company and we start at the beginning, we start together, but I say like, hey, I don't want to have partners anymore. So you can continue going, like I already developed the design. You already purchased the inventory. Here's the design and you can work on this, and with this product, he become like highly successful. But after one thing, he came to me and he said, Dima, I'm working as a police officer right now. So I want to treat Amazon as a side job for me right now, like a side project. And I told him, you will never become successful if you will continue focusing on two things at the same time, especially if you do everything yourself. It's okay if you're starting like a side project. But the more you guys going forward, the more you have to put attention towards the Amazon business. It's not like some fake idea, it's not like some Ponzi scam, it's a real business. And look, if you struggle with putting money into split test or you like a bit greedy, or lazy or something, there's someone else, like the guy from Ukraine sitting on front of the computer trying to improve his image. And if you're not gonna take the step to do so, they're gonna beat you, they're gonna outrank you, and eventually your business will go down. So make sure when you're working, guys, you understand what means the competition advantage. Like build this all the time. You don't have to become successful overnight. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You can achieve so much in 3 years. You can achieve so much in 5 years. You can make your $20,000, $50,000 profit per month. Okay, you can make 5,000 and make a great living. For me, I have a big goal. So I want to change the world. But you don't have to be the same way. You can be just a great entrepreneur with a normal experience. But make sure you continue going and going to the events, going to the podcasts, learning from other people, motivating yourself. Sometimes, like I remember myself when I start to make like $20,000 a month. I get so comfortable. It was a great point for me when I can play volleyball on the beach, I enjoy time with my wife, I have enough employees, business continue growing. And then eventually like eBay shut down my account and overnight I lost everything. Mm-hmm. So I realized, okay, now I have to build another business. I told you this story in Israel, and then I start to build another business. And then again, Apple shut down my business. And then, and it's just, it was up and downs. What I realized, there's nothing can stop me. And you have to be the same way, just continue going. If you fail once, it's okay. If you fail twice, it's also okay. Just make sure you keep learning from this. So that's the biggest part for me.
I always say, if you've never failed, you're not an entrepreneur. You've got to fail and then you learn from it. But one of the things that you were talking about that I think is so important is when you go and you learn. I've told Kelsey, I've told all my kids that to become an expert in anything, you have to learn an hour a day. So train every day, read, do whatever it takes. And also, and we talked about this in Israel, planning. So Kelsey knows every morning that, or every night, probably 20 minutes before I shut off the computer, I make a list. And then that list is put into my calendar. And that calendar is like A task and then B tasks, and then, you know, the calls. And I know exactly when I come to my desk in the morning what I've got to do. Now, are there going to be changes? Yeah, there'll be changes. But another area that is really incredible that I think we can talk about too, about building and learning, is I've met you, the first time I met you was in Mallorca. It was a very expensive event, very expensive event from ASM, and met there. And then we've met all over like many times. But you've heard this, you hear this, and you know, a lot of people in one ear and out the other, but you invest in yourself. I went to that meeting, or that one event in Mallorca. I met so many really incredible people. I'm probably in contact with at least half of those people still. And from that event, I don't know how many events I've spoken at since then, from people at Mallorca booking me on podcasts or in events. And then it grows. Then you go to the next event and to the next event. And that could either be with a mastermind or with a mentoring program or with going out there and going to these events. Now, some of the events, they're expensive. And some of them are not. Some of them are a couple $100. Virtual summits are free, like a lot of them. Some of the events, like the one we went, I think it was $19,000. But we went there and we probably got 10 times that back from the people in the network and the business connections that we've had. I am not saying that everybody should go out and spend $19,000, but go out and spend what your budget is and invest in yourself. And also, like you were saying, some people aren't going to be making $50,000 or $20,000 a month. Maybe you just want that extra $500 or $1,000 a month to bring in to help with your mortgage or whatever. E-com is the place to be, and you can do that. The only thing I'll tell you from experience, be prepared to be kicked between the legs. But you've got to get up and you've got to get back to it, and then you get kicked between the legs again. And guess what? If you get kicked between the legs 20 or 30 or 40 times, it gets a lot easier, you know? And so, I mean, that's just what I've experienced.
You know, I also can tell you, like, I remember when I just moved to United States. Okay, from all these years I learned, don't be distracted by other people's success. Don't try to compare yourself to others. Don't try to compare yourself to neighbors. Don't try to be distracted by these materialistic things that people have. Let's say you see like someone has this like nice purse or watches or cars, or like, it's not something that you don't have to. I don't know, like my personal experience. I remember myself when I just moved to United States. I so badly want a Rolex, the watches. I want this Rolex so much. I thought that if I have this Rolex, I would connect to everybody. I would have a better people around me because they're gonna recognize me. And but people who actually recognize you and people who you want to be kind of count on, they don't care if you have a Rolex or not. But eventually, like I went to the store, I purchased myself a Rolex in a Mayors. I financed the Rolex, so I was paying for like 2 or 3 years for this Rolex. And then after about like I think year of growing my business, and then when you can start to make money that you can buy a Rolex or 2 Rolexes every single month with no problem, you realize that you don't need that in order to be connected to the good people. So to people who can help you or who can exchange knowledge with you. So my biggest takeaway for the first 2 years, I think the reason why I was growing so much, because I was going to so many events. That's really made a difference in me and other people who I was talking with. They was afraid to spend $1,000, $2,000. You know, these events that we went to, you know, they on average events I was paying like $12,000, $14,000 events. This event was not always been best in knowledge, but there was always best on connecting with the other people. Because if someone can pay $12,000, they know something. they have energy to keep going. They have energy to execute. Majority of the guys I met, they have now like huge companies, they have factories, they have connections, they have a logistical companies, warehouses, like any type of knowledge can be accessed with just one phone call right now. So and now these events, they coming back, so you can guys utilize this right now. And they're not that we have an event in June 11 and 12. How much we charge? Like $2,000 for to attend, or 2,500. It's 2 days with the amazing people. There's so many people. There's about 8 speakers coming who gonna teach amazing things about Amazon. One guy will teach you how to, with one technique, how to grow your Amazon revenue by 30%. And it's simple, untouched technique right now. He's gonna give you deep dive on details what to do. I'm gonna have amazing information on latest technologies with the ranking, keyword ranking, and product launches. There's another girl coming. She's gonna explain how to deal with the complicated niches like adult niches and clothing and other stuff. She's gonna give you like great insights of what to do, how to deal with the competition there, and how she's growing so much. And there will be another girl who's gonna speak about influencers marketing, about this unique technologies she developed, and she grew the business almost 50% right now in 3 months, just utilizing these simple ideas. Because look, sometimes to get successful, idea, but you need to know details. Like for example, people used to use a kind of postcards, to send to the customers. But the way how you speak on a postcard, what the color, what the size, where the product located. We sent more than, I think, 1 million postcards throughout our experiences, experiments. And we know exactly step by step how to make people attractive on these cards. What I'm trying to say, it's getting connected on the events. Because look, I do meetups, and I have so many people who attend my meetups. And because of they attending these meetups, they grow on Amazon, and some of them become partners, some of them becomes investors, some of them become service providers, just because they was attending events. They was getting this motivation, because sometimes you work by yourself with the computer and then family distraction and all kind of stuff. It's difficult to stay focused. So I suggest you to go to events at least like every quarter. You don't need to go like every month, because it will be too much of the distraction, because you need time for execution. Maybe on the beginning you can do more than once per quarter, but I suggest you to just speed up with this, And what I found a big difference between online events and local events where people meet. It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. First of all, because we are humans, we need to talk to people. Like online, you can learn a lot of knowledge. You can execute a lot of knowledge. But this like a personal connection that you get on the event, it cannot be replaced by anything. So and you know that. So
yeah, and one of the other things that when you go to an event, I've talked about this on the podcast before, but typically I make notes. Even though they're recording it, I make notes. And if I hear Dima dropping some, ninja techniques, I'll write them down. And then the next speaker. But the problem is, at the end of the day, you've heard all these different techniques, and now you've got information overload. So I summarize, I go back to my room, and this is one thing I do every day, because if you don't do it every day, it'll just be a mess. I take 3 of the points. Those are my 3 action items. And before I hit the bed, I've got those implemented. I'll either reach out to Vandana and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Check out this. But if you don't do it, what I found happens is that you go back home. You got some great connections, but you go back home and you don't implement some of the major things that you've learned. So it's very important. And I'll tell you another thing. One of the things that I saw that is still amazing, I still tell the story, is that we were at that Mallorca event. The event was over. We're all sitting in the room, and you went up to the front and you said, hey guys, we're all here. We all have these apps and tricks and tips. What are they? And you and Tomer, Rabinovich, were up at the board writing everything down. And we all got this list at the end of the day, basically, of what everybody did to, make their business successful. And I think that was probably one of the most epic things I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of a group knowledge. I believe like any problem can be solved when a smart people get together in a room. And the only when I a bit upset or sad when people come to the event and they just expect them to be they come without questions, and they come without ideas to be exchanged. So right. For instance, of course, it's a cool idea to listen a speaker, and speaker will drop some nuggets, and it's absolutely fine. You're already getting a lot of information, and you can already improve your knowledge. But think about people who sit inside the room. It's almost the same people like you come. Start to communicate, start to exchange the knowledge, start to exchange the ideas. Because sometimes I think, okay, sometimes it's difficult to teach people something if they're not asking. So if someone comes to me and say, hey, Dima, how to deal with reviews? I can speak for like 3-4 hours. It's a lot of knowledge there, and a lot of small techniques. And sometimes people, they want to hear some crazy magic. Sometimes people, they don't want just to hear that, hey, success comes with like daily routine, daily steps. Oh, I met one of my good friends about 6 years ago on Tony Robbins' Business Mastery event. And the guy was growing like crazy. He did like 50 million, then he made 80 million, and he was almost about to hit 130 million revenue. And I asked him, hey, how you become so successful? How you grow so much? So we went to the lunch, was talking, and he said, like, I can do extremely well, extremely boring things. And because he's a my business is extremely boring. And a lot of my competition, they want to go to the next venture. And I was continue staying in my niche. And his niche, if you ever heard, like, it's crazy niche. It's so simple, so boring. And he was staying there, and he became well recognized in United States, like a huge company who deal with this stuff. And because he was doing for like 7 years, everybody start to treat him as like a leader, of the industry, and everybody start to sign the contracts with him. So I know it's boring to go to a PPC, it's and optimize your beats. I know it's boring to do keyword research and you get overwhelmed. And because sometimes I hire people to research and development department, and I say, hey, you have to research product 8 hours per day. 8 hours per day, you have to do these steps that I teach you. So, and then they research this and they say, like, it's impossible to research for 8 hours. While other, like, let's say girls, I just hired a girl. She launched last year 800 products in a different company, and she's a beast, she's so energized. She works. I can tell, like, right now, like I'm texting her right now. It's like, I don't know what time at her place. Give me just a second. Wait a second.
Kelsey, bring in the Jeopardy song.
Okay, well, this is a good time to say that we do have 2 contests happening right now. So hashtag Wheel of Kelsey for a consultation with Shane Oglow from PR Reach, and you'll get a free press release with that if you're the winner. And we also have Marsha Reese's Stay Well Copper. That's hashtag I Want to Stay Well, and that's available for US and Canada residences only. So. All
right, Dima.
Look, I just texted her like 2 seconds ago. She already responded to me. So she's always there. I'm like, and I always asking like, hey, how come you always so productive? She's saying, like, I just love to work. And and I think if you guys have team like that, then you can achieve anything. Like, everything is possible. These people you not only them, you together will grow, as a company. So that's why we mentioned in the beginning, structuring proper team is the key to your success. Okay. And look, good people in in other countries, they may cost you like, I don't know, $300-$400 a month. $800, it's a good solid professional. If you take someone for $1,500 or $2,000, these guys can change your business for good. And having 1 or 2 employees like that, I know so many companies when people making like $500,000-$600,000 profit per month, and they have like 3 employees. So you don't have to have like huge teams. Right now I have 47 employees, so we keep continue growing. But it's not that you have to do. I just love to delegate a lot. So
yeah. So now you've got a little bit more time, right? Because there's a bunch of questions. If you've got time, I got questions.
Okay, sure.
Let's
answer questions. Okay.
Okay, Kelsey.
Okay, great. Let's see, just a second.
I saw a bunch coming in.
Yeah. Okay, from Dr. Kaz. Dima, execution is key. What makes one person execute and the other not execute? Is it a mystery or
from my personal experience, you have to set the proper goals for yourself. You need to understand if you want. Look, here's the thing. Also, you don't have to execute if you don't wanna. You don't have to force yourself or either. Like me myself, I find myself sometimes I overworked, and then I need like 1 week or maybe 10 days to calm down, and then I continue coming. At this time, I just listen in some podcasts. I listen in some motivational videos and books I'm reading. So I always using Audible. It's a service by Amazon to listen audiobooks. So I love this book by Grant Cardone. It's called 10X. Every time I listen to this guy 10X book, I want to read my short, So this guy is so motivational. He has like few books, like another one, If You're Not First, You Lost. So it's he has like some cool motivational books. I'm not following his much on social media, but these 2 books, it's absolutely fantastic if you want to just kick your ass.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay. Great. Let's see. So the next question from Hasnat. Do you have any tips on how to network in virtual summits?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I personally didn't experience much virtual summits. Maybe I've been on 1 or 2, like a speaker. I know there's like some people they already come in with some like cool ideas, but I personally I love local events. That's why I form my local events too. Every week for almost 3 years, I was doing every Monday. I was doing event here in South Florida. So and every time we have like 20-40 people coming, and it was just absolutely fantastic. So people was just sharing ideas, was like doing some bonuses. I think with this ability right now that COVID go away, we will have a lot more events like that. And Prosper Show also coming in July in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Are you coming, Norm?
If the country will allow me to go across the border, it's still closed.
Where are you at right now?
I'm a couple hours north of Toronto.
Oh, in Canada, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I bought my ticket, but might have to get a refund. I don't know. But I do have something about the virtual summit. And it's a very simple concept. And we've talked about it on this podcast, but it's give to get. If you're in a networking room, so sometimes with virtual summits, they'll give you a break, like with Kevin King's $1 Billion Seller Summit. I said it right this week. He had an area where you would network. People just sat there and started talking about, eating bonbons the night before and how nice their sunset was. Well, get into it, introduce yourself, share some knowledge, share some education. And guess what? People reach out, just like on Clubhouse. You don't have to be the host or a moderator of the room, but if you come up, Marsharice came up the other day, introduced and asked some really great questions and dropped some knowledge. Well, guess what? People want to network with you. So if you keep it inside, all you're going to do is get information from the speakers. If you share, don't be afraid to share. It'll come back tenfold.
Listen, and you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. It's okay.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, me too. Listen, sometimes I feel like, hey, this guy is so smart. They drop in so much knowledge. I feel always like I have like just a basic knowledge. And but look, the real success in business, it's not about like crazy ideas or hacks. It's really about consistency and how many years you keep consistently doing simple things, launching products, optimizing conversion, working on the branding, selling your company, reinvesting your money. That's why going after ideas like crypto or other stuff, like casino gambles. I'm not saying like crypto it's a gamble, no, but I'm just saying I'm more the guy when my work directly correlate to my results. So generally speaking, if I don't understand some technology, I try to focus on things that I really can understand and make money. So.
Right. Okay, next question.
Okay, just to let you know, we're 10 past. So Dima, if you have to get going at any time, just let us know and we can wrap this up.
No worries.
But
my son is happy right now because he already get extra 20 minutes playing iPad. So just let's keep him happy.
All right.
All right. Okay, from Nathan, where does the guest go for an ecom loan? So ecom loans, where do you go? Do you have any suggestions?
Oh, that's one of my favorite topics. If you want, guys, if I have another half an hour, I can go like so deep in this, because this is how I got started. So
well, maybe what we can do is I mean, if you'd like, we could have you back on an episode, or this could be a training topic in our Patreon site. So why don't we touch on that? Is there a couple of just quick tips that you want to give?
Yeah, I mean, like that. You guys, if you want to go with the loans for e-commerce, I assume because look, there's two different parts. If you're from USA and if you're not from USA. If you're not from USA, it makes things more complex and your interest rates will be like higher. So I'm not gonna touch this point because it will give too much of the details, and you will have so many questions because every situation is different. But I assume you're from United States, you don't have a crazy bad credit history. You can still be able to apply for the credit cards. So like one of the simplest way if you just getting started, but if you're getting started, it's dangerous to get loans. Just I have to tell you that, but because you don't have any knowledge how to build a product. So, but if you need like some capital to grow, there is a simple ways. Let's say you can go to Chase. They have a credit card. It's called I think cashback credit card. It gives you 1.5% cashback. But also the good part about this credit card, they give you 15% interest-free rate, 0% APR for the first 15 months, 15 months free. So and then you go to a website called Plastic, PLASTIQ, plastic.com. And then from that website, you can add details of your, because look, you cannot send money to your supplier, let's say in China, to pay for the goods, from your credit card. Nobody gonna accept your credit card. But if you do it through the Plastic, you can do it, and you just pay 2.5% on the invoice. So, and sometimes it's a good part about negotiation. Sometimes you can get to the supplier and say, hey, if I pay you all the money upfront, how much discount you can give me? Could you give me like 3% or 4%? And because of the suppliers, they don't really treat, because they already make enough money from you, and they get all the money upfront because they also short on cash. It's a great options to negotiate with them, and because you negotiate them with this terms, they can say, okay, we can give you 3% discount. So you just made 0.5% difference from Plastic 2.5%, and then 15 months interest free. That will make. Give me a second. My wife already called me. Let me just put this on silent for a second.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, and then these balances and negotiations, they will help you to balance this. There's also another two guys that you guys can consider. It's called Farrar and LendingTree. These guys, it's brokers for giving you loans, because sometimes when you go to some company and you're trying to apply for a credit, they're not gonna approve you. for variety of reasons, you know, like I don't know why. But if you go with a broker fights for you. So they have like relationships and everything, and they kind of assuming that you come in like from the referred network. So you have more abilities. Let's say I was trying to apply for PayPal working capital. It's a different from the PayPal. So they have a program for supporting e-commerce businesses. They have about 6 or 8% APR. APR, it's percentage per year that you have to pay on your money. So and yeah, what I was trying to apply, they was declining me, you know. So I went with the Fundera, and Fundera approved me. So how I have no idea, you know. But they just sent me offer, and I've been approved. So Fundera, Fandera. Lending Tree is the same company. I'm like they're competition, you know. But you will be able to get money. There are also 2 good ones. It's called Cabbage and Blue Wine. That's their interest rates are crazy. About 10% per 6 months, but still, you know, like if you come into the Q4, you need money, you know, like to grow your inventory. And look, in a physical business, guys, I have to be honest with you, you know, like it's look, don't look at me and think, hey, he's a successful guy, you know, like or wherever you think, you know. So it's a lot of work, you know. And on a daily basis, guys, I'm facing exactly the same problems as you do. And it doesn't matter how big your business. And I can tell you, the bigger your business, the bigger the monster behind your back that can eat you one day. Because when you work with the physical products business, the only way to grow your business, let's say twice, you have to grow amount of your inventory, because you have to sell something to the people, you know. Growing your sell price twice would be near to impossible, you know, if you're already at the market price that people paying. Or building your brand will take so many years, you know, to build properly. So with the inventory growth, if you're growing consistently, you have to buy more and more inventory. And sometimes you buy the first batch of inventory, and the moment you sold 30% or 40% of inventory, you didn't even make enough money to buy a second part when you need already to buy an additional batch of inventory. And these cash flow problems, we can jump with Norm on the next call and go deeply into the financial processes in a physical products businesses. But because there's a lot of small details that you guys need to be aware of. They're simple. So the rules are simple. Just you have to make sure you follow these rules, because if you don't follow the rules and you start to spend money and feel like, hey, and I start to make $8,000 or $12,000 a month, and now you start to burn, you go and buy this watch, or you get another leased car, you know. Now you're not driving Acura or Honda anymore, you know. Now you want to get BMW or Mercedes because you are fancier. Hold on for this, you know. Wait for the next podcast with Norm. Listen through this, you know, and then with the full power, get this new lease sign up with a strong opinion and strong power, because you know now you can handle it. So
perfect, great, and that gets you back on another podcast. All right, Kelly, so we'll take a couple more questions and then we'll call it.
Okay, let's do one from Tony that I saw come in. What is your typical day like? Do you have many meetings?
Me personally, or he asked for everybody?
I think you personally, Dima.
Yeah, guys, I did this few times actually. You know, I will tell you. Some of my friends, let's say, sometimes they arrive and I say, hey, do you want to just spend day with me? And okay, I have one of my friends. He came to from Ukraine here, and he knew how much money I'm making and what's my lifestyle. And he always thought it's kind of a trick, you know, like, oh, I'm lying or something, you know, like, oh, I'm just like kind of trying to make it happen. And like, so like he didn't think it's for real. So, and he thought it's the money came from me. Maybe I came from Ukraine with a bunch of money, and now I just kind of come up with all these ideas and all these stories. And I say, hey, just spend a day with me, you know. So he jumped with me on the car in the morning. I drop my kids off, and I start to drive to the office. Then I go to the meeting. Then I go to the factory near me. And it's my typical day. I was not trying to kind of do something. And already by the half of the day, he said like, "Listen, man, you do somehow. Like how many? Like the calls continuously ringing all the time, like your assistant, everybody just grinding like crazy. And I said, like, listen, you just need to do everything on a relax. Just relax your brain and just keep going with the flow, relax, don't stress yourself out, As I always say, like, there's nothing that can bring my mood down except my wife, She has this ability sometimes. But overall, like, even if someone calls me and say, hey, your entire like container burned, I would say, like, okay, can we buy another container, So yeah. I never worry about anything about money or something, I know, like, because if I would ever tell you guys entire my story when I just get started and until up to these days, I've been through so many up and downs that I can tell, like, you will always back on track, if you want it. And if you have enough like power and brain and keep continue going. I know it's difficult to go through the difficult times, but listen, guys, it's possible. You will be achieving goals that you desire. Like maybe you will not make $1 billion, but maybe this is not the goal that you need to achieve. So, and yes, I have lots of meetings. Lots of calls. Sometimes I delay on the calls, and it's normal. Sometimes I forget about calls. Sometimes I forget what day of the week, because like I just was driving, somebody distract me with the questions, or like someone called me and say, hey, Dima, I need help. And then I was helping for 1 hour while I was supposed to be on another 3 meetings. So, but it's about priorities, If you prioritize your day properly, everything goes well.
Well said.
Okay, and this is an easy one. Where in South Florida is Dima?
I used to live on Hallandale Beach. It's like North Miami. Now I live in North Fort Lauderdale. It's commercial. It's exit 32, I think, or 33. And my warehouse, my ASA warehouse, 3PL service that we provide for Amazon sellers, located on Oakland Park, which is exit 30 on 95. Those people who live in Florida, they know these exits. They know where they are, like we're about like 25, 30 minutes away from, maybe like 30, 40 minutes away from Miami port. So for us, it's easy to bring containers from the port and organize everything fast.
I didn't know you were in North Fort Lauderdale. We've got our office in Fort Lauderdale as well for a U.S. office.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if I ever get down there, maybe you can come over or vice versa.
Maybe I'm not going to fly for Canada yet. You guys are crazy there. Yeah. But no. Listen, everything have to be done at the situation and proper. Like I maybe it was like not proper to say, like that you guys crazy. It was a joke, of course. But I'm saying like everybody have to. Oh, Jessica, she's in Aventura. I used to live in Aventura. I was just there like before this call. So. And I'm driving there back in a half an hour, So
where is your meetup?
Like message on Facebook.
You have a meetup, and this is the last thing: is you have a meetup, a regular meetup. Whereabouts is that? How can people go to the meetup?
Yeah, I usually post on my Facebook page where next upcoming meetup is going, so everybody knows. Like we have lots of people coming and. It's actually fun meetups, People bring a lot of knowledge. We exchange a lot. So we eat cookies, drink tea.
Well, I'm there. As soon as I hear cookie, I'm there. Okay, so you are having an event. I just want to make sure that we talk about that for a sec. It's the Rise event or Rise conference.
Rise conference.
Got about eight speakers that are coming out there. Beginner, intermediate, who should come out? Who should attend?
The people who wants to grow their Amazon business, who wants to optimize their taxes, who wants to perform their lunches better. Look, we don't have restrictions, guys. We're going to teach you everything. And only you will decide how you're going to utilize this knowledge. Because this knowledge is good for any level of Amazon sellers. Well, maybe coming as a newbie, like if you don't have any products on Amazon, it's kind of would be a bit risky for you because we're gonna speak about how to improve Amazon business. But I suggest people who already have like at least few products on Amazon, who are already selling. If you need to improve your profits, if you struggle with rankings, please come over. You're gonna like it. We also have a promotion for you guys. If you're gonna use coupon code NORM, you're gonna get $300 discount on your ticket, which is I'm doing only for this podcast, and you guys gonna just enjoy us with a discounted price. So
Well, that's awesome. So when they go to your site, they just have to type in Norm. That's a tough one, but Norm.
Norm, I mean NORM. Like I think nothing can be easier than that.
All right, that's cool, and it is going to be happening June 11th and 12th in Orlando.
Yeah, you have to arrive on June 10 for pre-registration, because June 11 we're gonna and June 11 at 9 a.m. we're gonna start our presentations. Then we're gonna have lunch. It's included in all it. Then I reserved a private restaurant for everybody. So we're gonna have amazing time. On the second day, we're gonna have lots of fun. On the second day or second of the day, we're preparing some party for you guys. Amazing one. It's gonna be beautiful networking, lots of knowledge. And on June 13, you're gonna leave back home with the weapons ready to shoot, and grow your Amazon business.
All right, fantastic. So Kelsey's put up the links here. We'll also have it in the show notes. It is one of the recommended events that I know. I've never been to a Dima event, but I've been to plenty with Dima and him speaking, and I know him personally, so I would highly recommend it. Okay, so now it is probably the most important time of the day. It's time for Wheel of Kelsey. If he do his job and hit the button.
Okay, here we go. It's time for Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. All right, this is for Marsha Reese's Stay Well Copper phone badge. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is Tom Norton.
Very good. And just get your information over to Kelsey at what is it? Or k@lunchwithnorm.com.
That's correct. And
Right.
last one, share screen. This is for the consultation with Shane.
Which he'll be happy that I threw him in there.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And a free press release as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's gonna get it? Oh, Jessica.
Jessica.
Very good.
So this is Rosalind. So Rosalind, same thing. Email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com, or you can just message me on Facebook, and I'll connect you.
All right, fantastic.
I love it. The
All
spinning
right.
wheel is like the best part.
Yeah,
It's like a cherry on the cake.
it is. It is. It's the Wheel of Kelsey. All right, Dima. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I want to wish you all the best with your event as well. This is, I think, your first event that you're doing. So, it's your first event, right?
Yeah, it's our first. We put in a lot of effort to make people really like blow their mind that this event would be amazing.
One thing I haven't even mentioned here before you go, you do have an incredible app that people should check out called Sellerize.com. You've got lots of information, but look, if you're interested in checking it out, it's Sellerize.com. Kelsey put it in the comments section, and check it out. It's an awesome app. But that's it. It's only an hour and a half into it, of course. Dima, thanks for sharing your time today.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you. Guys, have a good day. Have a good weekend.
All right. We'll see you later. Okay. So, Kelsey, we have one of my favorite people coming on from Canada. And you know what? I only got to know Rana. So we're talking about Dr. Rana Singh. He has an incredible Clubhouse event. He does something totally different than what most people do on Clubhouse. And he just It's a mastermind, and it's every other Friday. Anyways, he's going to be on, and we're going to be talking about Clubhouse and how to utilize it properly for Amazon sellers. So it's going to be a real interesting Wednesday podcast. So, and the other thing, I'm going to have to get used to this because, when we're talking about sponsors, this is so great. Like, this just happened, and I was so happy that we've got this new sponsor. So Global Wired Advisor. And once again, they're a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing your business sales process. So check out globalwiredadvisors.com. How's that? Did I say it properly?
You did fantastic.
All right,
Yes.
good. All right, what do you got?
All right, so I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast today. We always appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please smash those like buttons, as well as if you missed an episode, or Dima's been back before on the podcast, so we have his episode up on YouTube. So definitely go check our YouTube channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. We're super pumped with that, as well as we have our Patreon. So this is our monthly Lunch with Norm bonus content area. It's upwards to $75, but you get like bonus content, consultations,
There's tons.
discounts. You get like a free Centurion month, a bunch of different things that are available. You get custom mugs. There's custom merch all available. So that's starting up tomorrow, and that's patreon.com/lunchwithnorm. And I think that's about it.
Okay, so join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Eastern Standard Time at noon. And also, as usual, thank you so much for watching the podcast, being part of the community. We're expanding the community. If you have any suggestions, please let us know. We just want to continue to provide content for you and just have a really great community in general. All right, everybody, have a great day.
Lunch with